The Mummy Returns is the highly successful film from the first movie, and despite how weak some of the story is, this is still an entertaining film to watch. If you've never seen this film, check it out because it is certainly worth your time. Once again, directed by Stephen Sommers, The Mummy Returns takes place 7 years after the events of the original film. Rick and Evelyn are married. They have a 8-year-old son. And on one of their adventures, they come across the bracelet of Anubis, which was given to the Scorpion King, played by Dwayne Johnson, his very first movie role. And from there, all craziness happens. And you have a decent film. I think this movie's alright, in my opinion. It's not as great as the original, but there are some story issues, such as how could their son be 8 years old? And they met in 1926. At the most, he should be 7 and not 8. And why bring back Imhotep as the villain once again? They really couldn't do nothing differently. I get it, it's called The Mummy Returns, but a different film would have been much welcome. Everyone from the first film returns: Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, Arnold Woozle, John Hannon, Odin Farrell, and they all did a good job here. Dwayne Johnson was at least decent in his first role. Even though he had a small role in this film, it was of things to come for his movie career. Now, tell me one thing. What the hell happened with the CGI? Seriously, what the hell is that? They actually made him into a scorpion? I tell you what they should have done. They should have made him look human and gave him superpowers. That way, Dwayne Johnson would act a little bit more in this film. Now, everyone in this movie did a good job. Arnold Vosloo, Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannon. And, then you have the 8-year-old kid in the film. You guys already know my views on child actors. To me, he did a terrible job. He didn't really need to be in this movie. I guess it was for story purposes. But he certainly weighs the film down just a tad bit. Nonetheless, though, I had fun with this movie. I laughed. There was some great scenes. This is easily a film I enjoyed over the years. And even though it's almost 20 years old, it's a film you can have fun with. You can watch with the entire family. So the main story of this film is the bracelet of Anubis, worn around Alex Armagad, will lead them to the Scorpion King as he's awakened. His whole plan is to take over the world. Meanwhile, the bad guys awaken Imhotep because they think he's the only one to take him on. And besides all that, you have some good moments in this film. The action sequences are very well done. I love the music in this film. And it leads to an overall good experience. I wouldn't say, like I said before, it's better than the original, but there are a lot of high moments in this film. But on the downside, there are some low moments as well, such as the acting of the child actor in this film. And the story beats are not all great compared to the original. And I would have liked to see a different villain. But nonetheless, though, this is the film that we had gotten. And despite how many flaws it has, it's still a film I could watch today and have a good time with. I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. Even though I thought it was inferior compared to the original, I don't think this is a bad film at all. In fact, it draws parallels to the Indiana Jones franchise, as this film feels kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark, especially in the beginning of the film. Besides, you can sympathize with Imhotep a little bit. He ain't the bad guy. And how can you feel bad for him after this scene in the movie? Damn, that's a shitty way of announcing the moon to leave Imhotep like that. The man's asked for his help and you just run away. Supposedly, he's the love of her life, and he got heartbroken. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'd rather see Imhotep being saved and maybe became the good guy, but alas, that's what happened. Besides, Imhotep was not a particularly bad guy. And let's talk about Natsume. She does die like a scene later, so that's what it is. Nonetheless, though, not a great film, but this film is highly entertaining. And though I wouldn't choose it over the original, it's still fun and very entertaining to watch even today. And that's my review of The Mummy Returns. Alright, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this film. Do you love it, hate it, are you in the middle? You know, it seems to be a mixed reception for this film. Others hate it, there are some that loved it. I'm in the middle though, this film's alright by me. Not as great as the first film, and they knew what they were doing when they made this film. Up next is my review of The Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, a terrible film. In fact, it's the second worst film in the franchise. Okay, it's a Slum Guy 172 saying, peace out.